The Magic Show, Performing Magic Tricks Part 1, Introduction. In a small town called Greenwood, there lived a boy named Alex. Alex was 10 years old and loved magic. He had a big dream of becoming a famous magician one day. Every night, he practiced magic tricks in his room with his little sister, Lily, who was his biggest fan. The announcement. One sunny morning, as Alex and Lily were walking to school, they saw a big poster on the town's notice board. The poster announced a magic show competition that would take place in 2 weeks. The winner would get a golden wand and a chance to perform in the city's biggest theater. Preparation begins. Alex was very excited. He rushed home after school and started preparing for the competition. He practiced card tricks, coin tricks, and even tried to make objects disappear. His room was filled with magic books, hats, and wands. Finding a mentor. One day, while practicing a new trick, Alex realized he needed help. He remembered Mr. Thomas, an old magician who lived at the end of the street. Mr. Thomas had retired many years ago, but was still known as the best magician in Greenwood. Alex decided to visit Mr. Thomas and ask for his guidance. He walked to Mr. Thomas's house with Lily. When they knocked on the door, Mr. Thomas opened it and smiled warmly. "Hello, Alex and Lily. How can I help you?" he asked. The first lesson. Alex explained about the magic show and asked Mr. Thomas if he could teach him some tricks. Mr. Thomas agreed and invited them inside. His house was filled with old magic props and posters of his past performances. Mr. Thomas began by teaching Alex the basics of magic. He showed him how to shuffle cards, make coins disappear, and perform simple illusions. Alex listened carefully and practiced every day. A new trick. One day, Mr. Thomas showed Alex a special trick called the floating ball. It was a difficult trick, but Mr. Thomas believed Alex could do it. He gave Alex a small silver ball and taught him the secret to making it float in the air. Alex practiced the floating ball trick every day. At first, it was hard and the ball kept falling, but Alex didn't give up. Lily watched and cheered him on, saying, "You can do it, Alex." A visit to the magic shop. A week before the competition, Mr. Thomas took Alex and Lily to a magic shop in the next town. The shop was magical, with shelves full of wands, hats, and other magical items. Alex was amazed and felt like he was in a dream. The shop owner, Mr. Brown, was a kind man who loved magic too. He showed Alex a special deck of cards and a magic hat. "These will help you in your performance," he said with a wink. Alex thanked him and bought the items with his savings. The big day arrives. Finally, the day of the competition arrived. The town hall was decorated with colorful lights and banners. Many people came to watch, and the hall was filled with excitement. Alex felt nervous, but also very excited. Mr. Thomas, Lily, and Alex's parents sat in the front row to support him. "Remember, Alex, believe in yourself and have fun, Mr. Thomas whispered to him before the show began. Part 1 Conclusion. As Alex waited backstage, he took a deep breath and reminded himself of all the practice he had done. He knew this was his moment to shine. The curtains were about to open, and Alex was ready to show everyone the magic he had learned. To be continued in Part 2. The Magic Show, Performing Magic Tricks Part 2. The performance begins. The curtains slowly opened, revealing the stage decorated with sparkling stars and a big red curtain in the back. The host of the show, Mrs. Williams, welcomed everyone and introduced the first performer. Alex was the fifth performer, so he watched the others carefully. There were jugglers, acrobats, and even a ventriloquist. Each act was impressive, but Alex knew his magic tricks would be unique. He felt a mix of excitement and nerves as his turn approached. Alex's introduction. Finally, it was Alex's turn. Mrs. Williams called his name, and the audience clapped loudly. Alex walked onto the stage, holding his magic hat and special deck of cards. He looked out at the crowd and saw Lily, Mr. Thomas, and his parents smiling and cheering for him. He took a deep breath and began his performance. The card tricks. Alex started with his card tricks. He asked a volunteer from the audience to pick a card, any card. The volunteer chose a card and showed it to the audience. Alex shuffled the deck and, with a flourish, revealed the exact card the volunteer had picked. The crowd gasped in amazement. Next, Alex performed a trick where he made a chosen card disappear from the deck and reappear in his pocket. The audience clapped and cheered, impressed by his skills. The coin tricks. After the card tricks, Alex moved on to his coin tricks. He made coins vanish and reappear in surprising places, like under his hat or behind a volunteer's ear. The audience laughed and clapped, enjoying every moment. The floating ball. Now it was time for Alex's most difficult trick, the floating ball. He took out the small silver ball that Mr. Thomas had given him. He held it in his hands and concentrated. Slowly, the ball began to rise into the air. The audience watched in awe as the ball floated gracefully around Alex. As the ball floated, Alex moved his hands in a way that made it look like he was controlling it with magic. The ball danced in the air, moving up and down, and even doing little spins. The crowd was silent, completely mesmerized by the trick. The grand finale. For his grand finale, Alex decided to perform a trick that combined everything he had learned. He called Lily onto the stage to help him. She brought a small box with her, and Alex asked her to hold it. Alex took his magic hat and waved his wand over it. He reached into the hat and pulled out a bouquet of colorful flowers, which he gave to Lily. The audience clapped, thinking the show was over. But Alex had one more surprise. He asked Lily to open the box she was holding. When she did, a beautiful white dove flew out and soared above the audience. The crowd erupted in applause. amazed by the final trick. The winner. After all the performances, Mrs. Williams came back on stage to announce the winner. She praised all the participants and said it was a tough decision. Finally, she announced the winner of this year's magic show competition is Alex. Alex couldn't believe his ears. He had won. The audience cheered as he walked forward to receive his prize. Mrs. Williams handed him the golden wand and a certificate for a performance at the city's biggest theater. Celebration. Alex's family and friends rushed onto the stage to congratulate him. Mr. Thomas gave him a proud pat on the back. "You did it, Alex. You were amazing," he said. Lily hugged him tightly, saying, "I knew you could do it." That night, the town celebrated Alex's victory. There was a small party at Mr. Thomas's house with cakes, balloons, and music. Alex couldn't stop smiling. He felt like all his hard work had paid off. The city performance. A few weeks later, Alex performed at the city's biggest theater. The theater was grand, with bright lights and a large audience. Alex felt a bit nervous, but he remembered all the support he had from his family and Mr. Thomas. He performed all his tricks flawlessly, and the city audience loved him. After the show, many people came to congratulate him and ask for his autograph. Alex felt like a real magician. A bright future. Alex continued to practice and perform magic. He became known as the young magician from Greenwood, and his fame grew. He performed in many places, sharing his love for magic with people everywhere. Alex never forgot the support of his family, Lily, and Mr. Thomas. He often visited Mr. Thomas to learn new tricks and share his experiences. Mr. Thomas was proud to see Alex becoming a successful magician. Conclusion. Alex's journey taught him that with hard work, dedication, and a bit of magic, dreams could come true. He inspired many young magicians to follow their dreams and believe in the magic within them. And so, the magic show was not just a performance, but the beginning of a magical adventure for Alex. The end.